My biggest concern when I was thinking of getting Botox Cosmetic was
losing my expression. I wanted to stay.
And nigga, be real to yourself before you real with anybody else. YouTube, what's the big old deal? What's the big old deal, man? It's y'all favorite hood partner, Big Nita, man, and we back cracking with another one, man. So before we get into this Keefe D trial, man, let me just say this, just off the record though, man. I feel like this, no matter what you standing on, if you man enough to take a life, or if you man enough to get in that car when somebody take a life, you should be solid enough to take whatever come your way. I don't want to hear no, oh, it's unfair justice over here. Man, I'm an old man, man. Though, now that Keefe D trial finna come up, it's kind of crazy how, the legendary, OGs from back in the day, man, they held at a high regard, but when they get, man, brother 62 over here now, man. Hey, man, I can't do nothing. My asthma, I beat cancer. And it's like, it's this empathy. No, bro, because you still got to think about Tupac family. I feel like this. If you man enough to take a life, be man enough to do the time. Nigga, you got to realize there's a lot of bodies that get dropped and everybody going to hide. No, I don't want to get caught. What you hiding for? What is you hiding for, man? So today we got Keefe D motion for dismiss in the Tupac's, you know what I'm saying? Denied, sir. So let's get into it, man. Y'all know I don't hold no angles, man. I just keep it Fendi, man. So that being said, let's fall in. Let's go. And 5, 4, 3, 2, go.
All right, that's it for page 10. Does anybody have anything they want called more quickly before we get into Davis? I'm sorry. No, you're okay. All right, let's call page 6, Wayne Davis, C377407. Mr. Davis is present in custody. Mr. Arnold. We have Mr. DiGiacomo appearing for the state. This is on for Mr. Davis's motion to dismiss. Mr. Arnold, I did see that the state filed its opposition on 115. Did you want to file a written reply, or do you want to proceed with oral argument?
I proceed with oral argument, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. To begin with, let's start with the corpus delicti argument. Basically, the law is clear, Your Honor. The state cannot proceed with a conviction against Mr. Davis solely based on his admissions. And if they don't have any evidence to corroborate those admissions, the case should be dismissed. And it's very clear, we both cited to the same exact case as the Sheriff being Dada case. And the law is very clear that we cannot have just the confessions, because if you just leave that to the jury is going to just assume guilt because he confessed. And so without the state providing any evidence outside of those confessions, that's a huge problem. It amounts to a legal trial, a trial that won't have the correct result. And so the state is saying that basically we were, we should have done this as a habeas petition. I disagree with that. Here's the reason why. We are not contesting probable cause. What we're contesting is, after all of the evidence has been delivered, there's no corroborating evidence. There's nothing. And then the state also stated that we're just looking for a corpus delicti. You just have to look at the body. If there's a body, there's corpus delicti. And that's just not the rule, Your Honor. There has to be, obviously in this case, a body, but the state has also alleged that this was assisted, promoted by a gang. And so those facts have to be evident. And the only way we have those facts.
Look at Keefe D, man. Hold on.
Is from
He didn't put on a couple pounds, boy. Woo! He got a big appetite. He trying to get home to some collard greens, some oxtail, some neck bone. Hey, man, let me just say this before we get into it. So right now, as we watching, you can see the fear on his face. He has been incarcerated for some time now, and despite if he murdered Tupac or not, you told the world that you would have smoked him and you was in the car when it happened. You see what I'm saying? So with that being, you was there. You know what I'm saying? So you know how this shit go, man. He did this shit to himself, man. We gonna fall in, gang. Let's go.
Mr. Davis's own mouth. The other participants in this, which I'll talk about in my second argument, are all dead. And so, but for Mr. Davis speaking and giving those statements, there is no corpus delicti in this case. I'll go to argument 2. And that's Mr. Davis's right to a fair trial and due process. The state pointed out the correct standard of review for that, and I don't disagree.
Come on, Judge. I'm trying to get out of here, man. My wife told me she cooking some cheeseburgers with some French fries, the homemade French fries. You know, she got to make them from scratch. Look how they got the chain on his belly, though. They doing him wrong, man. He the only nigga with the chain on the stomach shot, though. Let's go.
Agree with that standard. However, the part that we disagree with is whether Mr. Davis is prejudiced or not. They're saying, well, the witnesses that died are going to give speculative as to what the witnesses would say. In those cases, yes, that would have been the situation. In this case, it's different. I'll just concentrate on these 4 witnesses, Your Honor. Eric Martin, and just for the court's edification, Eric Martin was the person that supposedly gave the gun. DeAndre Smith was in the backseat. Terrence Brown, he was the driver, and Orlando Anderson was alleged to be the actual shooter. Without these 4 co-conspirators being alive, being available at trial, basically, Mr. Davis is completely prejudiced from proceeding. And his defense is he made this all up for profit. These individuals,
all right, Chad, what y'all think about that? Because if y'all recall, y'all remember the moment when he said that Eric Zip, they call him Zip. Eric Martin, who was Puff Daddy's godfather, allegedly gave him the gun because remember it's supposed to be that $1 million check. Diddy had sent over $1 million to knock off Tupac, and if they hit Suge, it was gonna be a bonus. You said that you told all of this for profit. So what do we call that in today's society? You know what I'm saying? Like, your reputation is everything. Not only did you get caught for this, but y'all got to take in accountability that this nigga actually just admit. I mean, of course, that's going to be your defense in trial. But if you really didn't do it and you lied about even being in the car with, so who did it? Everybody that you said that was involved that night when y'all was in that car, you placed yourself at the murder. Now, the only problem I got personally with this is that he didn't kill Tupac. You see what I'm saying? He's being charged for the murder of Tupac. That's the only foul thing that I could see in this. But this goes back to any real, look, this goes back to the nigga that's in the streets right now. Everybody bragging about they got bodies, but when you get caught, you gonna be like, man, I gotta raise my daughter from a 6x9 cell. Nah, nigga, you should have thought about that before you ran your mouth. The problem with Keefe D is that he spoke, he wrote a book, and he did multiple interviews telling on himself. And this is why I say we got this new generation out here telling everything that they do on the internet. Y'all ain't even seen me. Y'all barely been seeing me, you know what I'm saying, on the internet, because sometimes you just got to move in silence. You can't be letting everybody know your plans. 2025, It's no more telling somebody what you're doing. Stop telling them what you about to buy, because if you don't get it, they watching anyway. This is what make people stick to you like shit. Most of y'all already tell people what y'all got going on, and then you get mad when they want to hang around you for what you said you about to get. You said, nah, we ain't doing all that, man. So, you know, right now, I think by this time, this case is finna get real. They haven't displayed all the evidence that they got, and I don't think they go put it out there in the forefront, because they go tie him to this murder, because they got to get justice for Tupac, for number one. And the fact that everybody's dead, look, accessory to murder is just as, you see what I'm saying? Think about it. Keefe D is already 55 years old, damn near 60. He's half of 100. You're literally half of 100. It's no way that he's going to escape this. I thought he was going to have action because, you know, they are charging him for murder, and he could potentially have action. But at the same time, gang, it's not going to stick just off the murder. I think they go hit him with something else. They're trying to put that up first, because, you know, they go hit him with multiple charges if they can't get him for the murder of Tupac. Let's go.
Co-conspirators have to exist in an effort to kill Mr. Tupac Shakur. If they're not alive, if Eric didn't give him the gun, if DeAndre wasn't the driver, if Orlando didn't shoot, we don't have a murder, according to the state's theory, which is following, again, solely the omissions. So we go back to, when was this information available to the state? I would allege that it was available all the way in 1996. Everybody knew Orlando Anderson was in a fight with Tupac. Well, he wasn't in a fight. He got beat up by Tupac and other members of his gang viciously. He was the #1 suspect right off the bat. There should have been an alert. The police should have been searching for Orlando Anderson, but we always knew where he was because we went back to LA. They could have been in contact with him. They could have gotten statements from him. They could have gotten statements from Mr. Davis. They could have gotten statements from Mr. Martin. They knew all of these players way back in 1996. I don't know what happened. I'm sure Mr. Giacomo doesn't know what happened in regards to why the district attorney's office did not proceed with prosecution, or at least an investigation at that time. But it's a tactical delay.
This lawyer is trash, bro. He's trash. He not even, his opening statements is not even close. Hey, listen, man, you got to look for Keefe D. He needs somebody to go seal the deal, because we understand that there's no statute of limitation on this murder. But catch this game, though, right? I told y'all, we about to go back down that rabbit hole. The murder weapon, the same gun that Tupac was killed with, was already in the sheriff's custody. Reggie White Jr. was the one that got it up out of the what's called? They got it out of the evidence room. They already had the murder weapon. They lost it. Reggie Jr. went and got that murder weapon up out of there, and then double back and being first, I guarantee y'all, be clear. I ain't been on Reggie in a minute because I was waiting for this case to start pulling up. Let me make sure I'm clear. Reggie White Jr. will be testifying against Keefe D in this murder trial. I'm telling you, all of this shit finna line up. Diddy will have, I have reason to believe they're gonna have to bring Diddy up. Diddy will be in this trial as well. This is gonna be one of the most coldest cases of, you know, our generation. A lot of y'all, you know, came up under us, and y'all probably don't really know what's going on. But this was a time when the dope era was booming. This was when niggas was taking care of communities, families, and niggas was getting rich. The problem was niggas was getting rich and staying in the same place they got rich. Nobody never got out. Y'all got to understand something. Keefe D have took this roller coaster with this murder for years and years. I mean, the nigga wrote a book. All that money, look, he's not getting out of jail. But the fact that this opening statement right here, this is the best he got. That judge, I ain't even seen this shit, but man, this shit is trash. I ain't even no lawyer, bro, but I could tell when you got a good lawyer, man. Like, just watching him in his opening statement, he ain't getting too far with this shit, man. He needs to get a new lawyer. Let's go.
That goes severely against my client, because now all of these players are dead. I'll fast forward all the way to 2009. In 2009, the Metro officer comes down to LA and gives us, Mr. Davis gives the statement. That statement, all of the elements of this murder and what the state will attempt to prove at trial if the trial goes forward, is what Mr. Davis had said. They had that information. They did no investigation. At that time, Eric Martin was still alive, and also Terrence Brown was still alive. Orlando had passed in 1999, and I think DeAndre Smith in 2005. But at least two major players in this co-conspiracy are past. The DA's office, again, does not do any investigation beyond that. And so with that, we feel that my client's sufficiently prejudiced beyond repair. It leads me back to the immunity argument. In 2009, I counted, well, I'll just go through the pages, Your Honor. In that 2009 discussion with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department's officer, Detective Long, on page 3, he says, no intent of arresting Keefe. Page 11, I'm not here to arrest you. I'm not here to arrest you. I'm not going to arrest you. Page 12, you're free to leave. I'm not going to arrest you. You can go wherever you want. Page 103 and number 4, Terrence Brown was still alive, and the detective said, I was not going to arrest him. Page 134, I want to close the Tupac case. Page 138, this is confidential and covered, and you cannot be charged on it. Basically, you have the state was given the information by the LAPD. The LAPD had a immunity agreement with him out of the 2008 confession. The 2009 confession came by a product of Detective Dupree. Detective Dupree set that up. The only reason he set that up and why my client would have agreed to was that everybody was on the same page, that immunity was going to be provided. If it wasn't, how come he wasn't arrested right then and there? Because he said, I got the gun from Zip Martin. We were in a white Cadillac. I handed it to the back seat, and then Orlando took the gun and shot Tupac. All of that information is back there in 2009. But again, the DA office, and again, it's not these players, it's not Mr. Wolfson or Mr. Giacomo. That decision was made back then not to proceed with the trial. And now it's the state's burden, we believe, to show why they did not go forward and prosecute. They just can't sit here and say, well, he kept talking about it. No, you had that information in the beginning. We should have arrested him back in 2009. And so it had to be for a tactical advantage. That being, everybody's dead. It leaves Mr. Davis on the hook, and then he can't answer for all of the statements he made after that, other than it was for profit. And so,
regarding the timeline that you've laid out,
yes, Your Honor.
would Mr. Martin and Mr. Brown have been alive after the Compton Street Legend book was published, or no?
What is that, 2018, right?
2019, no, Terrence Brown dies, I believe, in 2015, and Zip Martin, I don't recall exactly when he died.
But it's not your argument that he ultimately would, if that's the state's triggering event for starting to investigate, that he would not have been alive at that time. Is that accurate?
After the book, right, when the book was published.
Yeah.
But after the 2009, he was still alive.
Of course, the Detective Long interview, of course, they're still
Right.
alive, but except for Mr. Anderson and Mr. Smith. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I had it.
Yep. And outside of any other questions, Your Honor, I would submit.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Arnold. Mr. DiGiacomo, anything you want to add?
Just briefly, as it relates first to corpus delicti, that's death by criminal agency. Obviously, Mr. Shakur didn't shoot himself, so that is satisfied in a homicide by proof of the facts and circumstances.
Let's go.
Testified to, by the way, the grand jury. And it is an argument. We didn't go through all of the evidence that is potentially out there. Their argument is there was insufficient evidence presented at the grand jury in order for them to be held under the corpus delicti rule. Even if you were to take it a next step further and say you have to have some evidence of a conspiracy independent of the bullets in Mr. Shakur, there's clearly at least a driver and a shooter, so evidence of a conspiracy exists. And so therefore, corpus delicti is satisfied no matter how you look at it, one way or the other. I also would dispute there's no independent evidence to corroborate, but that's not relevant in a corpus delicti argument. Corpus delicti is about criminal agency, and there is clearly criminal agency in this particular case. As it relates to the second argument, I'm unclear exactly what their argument is on the tactical decision we made. Their argument is he fully confessed, which as the court reviews that transcript, you can tell that he is being a knowing spectator all the way up until Dan Long gets kicked out of the room. Then his lawyer.
All right, so let me just say this, man, for all the real niggas that's in the back, man, that's watching this, I hope a lot of people is tuned in because this just lets you know, man, yeah, nigga, time, when you catch that, bullets don't got no age on it. You understand what I'm saying? And these courts get paid to make sure when they catch you with that body or on that murder that, yeah, nigga, just like bullets don't got no names, bullets don't got no ages on them. You see what I'm saying? And I don't care if you 75, you get cranked for that murder. Yeah, your health conditions is all bad. Ain't nobody giving you empathy, bro. It's not go crack, bro. Like, yeah, nigga, 30 years ago, maybe 32 or something like that to be exact. It caught up with your motherfucking ass. And now you can send them, man, come on, Judge, man, I got grandkids at home. Baby, come on, baby. Hey, Judge, man, look, everybody go. I know, you know what I'm saying? That nigga, hey, when y'all watch that nigga interviews, watch how he belched in the interview. You see what I'm saying? And I don't, the nigga is scared. The nigga scared. Nigga saying, I got a health problem. Hey, man, hey, come on, baby, Judge, man. I told you, I don't hang with them guys no more, man. Nigga lied, he even said he went to college. Shout out to everybody that's in the comment section. For me, I'm sitting back with the binoculars on. I'm just watching the game like, ooh, look, it's been this long, bro. If they didn't have substantial evidence, it don't take a rocket science to understand, bro. If they didn't have substantial evidence, he will not be in jail at this point. It's no way. You see what I'm saying? Plus, Reggie White Jr. got rid of the murder weapon. You see what I'm saying? That could have actually stuck on who actually killed Tupac. Do I think he killed Tupac? Hey, listen. I think Tupac, he did it to himself. He did it to himself. You see what I'm saying? But if y'all really want to go down this rabbit hole, before Tupac and everybody jumped Orlando Anderson, they eventually already had the money to go kill Tupac. You see what I'm saying? That was supposed to be the rendezvous point where Puffy gave Eric Martin the money and the gun to go kill Tupac. You see what I'm saying? But if we look at this shit, I wouldn't even exclude Suge Knight out the situation. Y'all gotta understand something. Who is to gain more from this? You see what I'm saying? Like, cause the $1 million theory, it sounds like, okay, cool, nigga. But them niggas would have killed Puffy, nigga. We talking about Diddy would have had, Keefe D would have killed nigga Tupac for less than $1 million. Shit, these niggas killing out here, nigga, for $200. Nigga, what's the nigga name that got killed? Dolph got killed for $200. You see what I'm saying? How you got these niggas, and that's 96. Them niggas been chipping shit, nigga. Nigga, hey, that nigga owe me $50. Man, hey man, wake that nigga game up, go pop that dude. And the nigga jump out, pop, over $50. I mean, the theory would be smart because they know that that's a high profile type of body. It ain't like chipping one of you nothing ass niggas out here, man. Shit, nigga, give me your EBT card, nigga. I go chip that nigga right now for you, baby. But nah, man, I just find this shit crazy because a lot of us out here really committing crimes and don't even know what the time means. Some of these dudes, when they talking about, oh yeah, nigga, they talking about 35 to life. You know what I'm saying? Shout out for the super chat. Why is nobody questioning Reggie White? Because he was the, man, I'm telling you, he's the whole twist to this shit. Look, when his daddy, Reggie White Sr., was in chair, man, look, he didn't even know what Reggie was doing. Reggie was Reggie was a millionaire, my nigga. Why y'all think Reggie started calling and creating lies and doing all this crazy shit early when I was on there, nigga help me? Because I got too close to what was really going on. Listen, bro. If you go blame Keefe D for this shit, you might as well blame Reggie White and Suge Knight for this shit. And I'm gonna just leave it right there. Eric Von Zip, yeah, man, you know that was a kingpin. Let's get it.
Here and Detective Dupree have a conversation where his lawyer tells him, "Hey, if you say the wrong thing, this guy can arrest you." And as you well know, because they're in California, Dan Long can't arrest him. Dan Long has to come back here, submit a warrant for his arrest, and take him into custody. Detective Long never tells him that he has immunity, but even if he did, all that would go to is the admissibility of the statement, because Detective Long doesn't have the authority to issue that, nor do the LA DAs or the LAPD or the federal government. Only a court in the state of Nevada could say Mr. Davis has immunity from the crime of murder in the state of Nevada.
Boom! That's it right there. Boom! Think about it. Think about this shit. At first, you know, if y'all read what he was saying, he said he had federal immunity, right? The federal. It's different from state. But at the same time, the murder was committed in Nevada. Y'all got to understand something. It don't matter what LAPD officer, just because y'all live in LA and you got a question in LA, they can't give you immunity in another state. It didn't even matter who in California arrested him. None of that shit. They was going to have, one thing we know about Vegas is going to come pick you up. I don't care what part of the country you in. If you in motherfucking Tuscaloosa or nigga all the way nigga to Port Oregon, Washington, I don't care if nigga you in Pritchard, Alabama. If you commit a crime in the state of Nevada, Nevada will fly and come get you. Bring that shit back, nigga. Now, nigga, this is how we make our money. They make more money in these prisons. They good with that shit. They love these niggas being in jail out here. I'm telling you, don't come to Vegas and go to jail. You might not got to deal with the LA gang politics, but when you dealing with the structure of Vegas, my nigga, you go be doing some time. Nigga go wake up one morning and nigga be in jail. They go open up them gates. They C6207 come out the cell, and the nigga is laying in the bed. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, he closed the motherfucking door. Like, nah, I ain't coming outside today. Hey, doc. Hey, guards, I don't feel like being in jail today. Nah, I'm not coming in out the cell. Hey, Bunky, go and get up out of here, man. Hey, today I need some me time. Vegas do not play, bro. Like, they coming to get you, bro. You see what I'm saying? If you commit a real crime out here, murder, they not playing with you, bro. I don't care how tough you think you is, nigga, you go rot in a Vegas penitentiary. Let's go.
And he has pointed to zero evidence whatsoever of any immunity. He has referenced some proffer agreements that he had with other agencies, and certainly that could be the subject of future litigation as to which of those statements are admissible or not admissible. And then the other, I guess, argument is somehow we waited intentionally so everyone else would be dead to charge Mr. Davis with a crime. No, Mr. Davis chose upon himself to publicly confess to a crime multiple times. And that's the evidence that spurred the investigation of Detective Mogg and ultimately resulted in his arrest. Mr. Davis has no basis to complain that he's sitting in that box right now, because Mr. Davis got up there and then even once said, I think it's in May of 23 on video, I beat the streets, I beat the feds, and I beat cancer. That was his choice to make. And when he made that choice, the state of Nevada chose to charge him, and he needs to stand trial for the charges, and I'll submit it.
Thank you, State. Mr. Arnold. any
Yeah.
follow-up?
Just a quick rebuttal. I don't want the court to get hooked up on this corpus delicti. The corpus delicti rule is basically, again, that's in the preliminary hearing stages of the case. The black letter law is this. The law states you cannot have a conviction based upon just his admissions and statements. That's the law. If the state at this point puts on a trial to a jury and that's all they have is his admissions, that whole trial is illegal. That's a legal trial. It's going up for appeal. It should not happen. They need to have something.
Keefe D, get this nigga up out of here, man. Hey, get him up out of here, bro. Clearly, y'all gotta realize that they do not, if they couldn't make this shit stick, this shit is airtight, bro. They're gonna have people that's going to testify and corroborate what Keefe D said. I don't know if he's a paid lawyer. I don't know if he's doing this pro bono to boost his case, but this dude is definitely finna get this man all day long. He's not gonna have no action at this, bro. This lawyer right here, man. Let's go, bro. I'm gonna leave it right there, man.
Something else, a gun, a witness, something else that puts this gentleman, those three co-conspirators in the car. They need to have a witness to say that the gun was given to from Mr. Martin to Mr. Davis. They don't have anything. They don't have anything to even prove that my client was in the state of Nevada at the time of this incident. I mean, basically, they have Orlando Anderson.
Get him out of
But they
here,
don't know if the Crips were here. That's all hearsay that came from the grand jury, and there is no evidence whatsoever. And so without that, we can't put on the trial, Your Honor. We just simply can't. In regards to the delay, again, I don't blame this office, this DA's office in regards to the delay, but somebody made the decision along the way that we are not going to prosecute Mr. Davis. And this office now needs to go forward with that immunity agreement. They need to. Those promises were made by their officer, the state's officer, and now we're just gonna ignore that? That doesn't make sense.
Immunity agreement from this office, or from the general.
From the general
DA's
immunity
office,
that
yes.
started from 2008 and went to 2009. Like I said, the only reason that,
Who
2000
within Clark County DA's office made
Right.
that argument?
Right.
no, it wasn't at the DA's office, it was the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer, Detective Long.
Oh,
When he said things like, I'm not going to arrest him.
Right, right. And again, like I said, it was not the office. And so
this nigga, but man, hey, that's hearsay, man. Come on, bro. You can't show that nothing in writing saying that he had any agreement. That was hearsay. Come on, Jay.
outside of us,
What
having
up,
an
bro?
evidentiary hearing as to who made those decisions back then in the DA's office, I mean, my client is just prejudiced because of those decisions. Because again, everybody waited all these years, and now we have players that are co-conspirators that are just dead and can't, deny participation. And so with that, we'd submit, Your Honor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arnold. Okay, I'm going to take your arguments in turn. First, the corpus delicti argument. I am going to consider this on its merits, given the Supreme Court's guidance in Diami versus State. I think it's better to at least hear it on its merits. Corpus delicti requires that there be corroborating evidence to support a confession. In a homicide case, the Nevada Supreme Court, as you both said, indicated this could be satisfied by proof of death by criminal agency. So I think maybe an example makes the most sense to explain what this concept means. For example, I confess that this morning, as I was driving into work, I killed someone on 3rd and Lewis Avenue. All right, now let's say there's no body ever found, there's no video, there's nothing. It's only my statement that I killed someone that makes this crime exist. However, here, that is not, in this case, that isn't the case. There is corpus delicti because Mr. Shakur was shot and eventually passed away from his injury. An autopsy was completed. His death was determined to be homicide by gunshot wound. And ultimately, it's a situation where the crime has been established. That a murder occurred because of the body of Mr. Shakur. So I will deny it on those grounds.
Oh my God!
Delay argument.
Yeah.
As you both cited, it looks like the standard.
Yeah, look at your motherfucking ass now. Look, that nigga, y'all should have seen Keefe D over there. He was like, yeah, show him right, baby. Yeah, talk heavy, baby. Look, dumbass. He can't even tell that his argument was just garbage. You're staying in jail. That nigga staying in jail, boy. God, digital, man. If y'all really watch what's going on with this trial, man, it's been back and forth for probably about, a year and a half or maybe 2 years. I told y'all just off the backboard, I personally feel that if you're charging him for the murder of Tupac, we can't, he said he wanted to. You see what I'm saying? He said he was, but he passed the gun to his nephew. You see what I'm saying? So, accessory to murder, conspiracy, it's so many other ways they can charge this man on his Tupac's murder. But far as just saying he's the shooter, nah, he never said that. And then y'all gotta realize that it's been so long. I don't think he realized everything that he said in that book. You see what I'm saying? He told it all. I don't think he remembered what he said on the Art of Dialogue, what he said at Vlad TV. This is one of those cases where I didn't listen, bro. If y'all learn nothing from me, man, you got the right to shut the F up. You got the right to shut the F up, bro. Some of y'all niggas be talking and be singing like Jodeci around this motherfucking nigga. You don't have to run your mouth all the time. You see what I'm saying? And who cared? Think about it, bro. Like, what is the whole point of you? Yeah, man, I killed Tupac. What was the whole point of you telling anybody that shit? Because if you man enough to brag about it, you should be man enough to say, hey, if you got me, baby, yeah, I did it. Stop hiding. Stop running. This nigga crying, bro. Let's go.
Standard that's laid out federally in People versus Nelson. I'll use that standard. A delay in prosecution that occurs before the accused is arrested or the complaint is filed. So we're looking at a pre-indictment delay argument. That could potentially constitute a denial of the right to a fair trial and due process of law under both state and federal constitutions. And then determining whether prejudice to the defendant has occurred. The court needs to balance the harm to the defendant and the justification for the delay. Here, it's clear that some of the witnesses are now deceased, and there is definitely evidence that has been lost. However, I do find there is a justification for the delay, and a pretty significant one. Uncovering information on Mr. Shakur's murder was ultimately no easy task. There was the interview in 2009, but it's clear that there was, at the attorney's suggestion, Mr. Davis at that time was not giving full information. He was sort of trying to obscure information and make it very general so that he would not be charged with murder, as his attorney indicated. It was not until ultimately the Constant Street Legend book was released in 2019 that Detective Moth then sought to establish the words in the book are actually defendants and to corroborate those things. The prejudice of the death of those four individuals who have been identified had already occurred at that time. Additionally, it took the next several years to gather that evidence, and ultimately led to the June 23rd, 2023 search warrant of the defendant's residence. After that search warrant was executed, then the grand jury indicted the defendant after several meetings in September of 2023. The defendant has not provided any evidence to establish the delay was intentionally done to gain a tactical advantage or that the prosecution delayed in bad faith. I don't see that the state really does gain any sort of tactical advantage here. I still think, it's a bit of an uphill battle for them given what they have. And ultimately, they can't get complete justice for Mr. Shakur because of the deaths of those other people, including Mr. Anderson, who's the alleged shooter in this instance. And so I ultimately don't see that this is a situation where the state really got any advantage by delaying, and in fact is themselves hindered. And so overall, I'm going to deny on the pre-indictment delay argument and turn to the immunity argument. It's fairly clear that the state of Nevada has never offered the defendant any sort of immunity. The federal government did in some capacity, but it doesn't appear to be complete transactional immunity.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go right there. Learn the difference. Learn the difference. It's a big difference between federal immunity and state immunity. You see what I'm saying? Now, they gave you federal immunity, but the state didn't. You see what I'm saying? So now this goes back to understanding. If you go be out here committing crime, bro, make sure you know your constitutional rights, know your amendment rights, and keep it all the way funky with a nigga, right? Make sure you know what that time carry. You see what I'm saying? Don't get out here, nigga, jump out here on your first run, commit a heinous act, and then that time carry 15 to life. You know what I'm saying? They might want 35 years, 38 years. You see what I'm saying? On your first run. I promise you, some of you niggas that ain't never been caught or been seen, really know somebody who been in those situations, get hit with 38 years with an L behind it. You got a family, you got kids, you got a wife, you got a grandmother. 9 out of 10, those be the niggas that's telling. The niggas that got a family and your mama saying, baby, you don't never got to see them again. Just tell them everything. Well, you told me, yep, I'm going down there and I'm going to tell the judge, my son told me that it was Lil Kiki that did it. He didn't even do it. He didn't even know they was about to drive on that corner. He just said, duck your head in. He shot, bow, wow. Like all that type of shit. Think about it, bro. Because if your heart not in it, man, you do not listen, bro. It's not mandatory that you get out there and crash out, bro. If you didn't grow up in this lifestyle, bro, it's not a fashion trend. For years, a lot of people joined gangs because, you know, that's where all the cool niggas and all the women wanted the hood niggas, the bad boys. So a lot of these square niggas that come from the suburbs and shit, man, I'm going to go get put on the set. I'm going to have me some homeboys behind me. And then I got the money too. And then I'm going to be famous more than them. And that's what happened, man. A lot of times, you know, niggas start overlooking, you know, the real niggas that stood on business, that stood on principle, you know, and had morals behind this and start running with the suckers that came in. Nigga, we don't even know where your mama stay at. Nigga, where your mama stay? You see what I'm saying, nigga? Nigga, my grandma stayed right there on 67th and whoop-de-whoop. Nigga, my auntie stayed right there on 43rd. You know, all that type. Back in the day, you had to know somebody. You see what I'm saying? And especially coming up in the 90s. If you was raised in the 90s, nigga, yeah, nigga, y'all remember them trips, nigga, when it was hard times, when nigga had to go to the church to get some canned goods. You gotta walk with grandma or auntie and shit. She leaving the church talking about thank you. She like, well, nigga, we gonna eat tonight. Nigga, you would never go to no church in today's society go get some canned goods because we got social media, Instagram. Hey, we seen Keisha over there at the church, man, getting some diapers, some tampons, and niggas taking pictures like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this bitch off today. Let me get this bitch now. Yeah, there go Keisha coming out the church, getting them 99-cent tampons and that government cheese. Yeah, see, I said government cheese. You niggas don't even know what that is. That shit had your ass clogged up. Let's go.
The court agrees that the interview defendant gave to the federal authorities in 1998 cannot be used against him as per the terms of the agreement. I think that's something that the state also conceded in their motion. However, the defendant has not produced any sort of agreement showing the federal government offered him transactional immunity from ever being prosecuted for this crime. In the 2009 interview that's been referenced multiple times throughout these arguments, Detective Long's assurances of not arresting Mr. Davis really go to whether he was in custody for purposes of Miranda or things like that. Additionally, he didn't have a warrant at the time, so that was an accurate statement of the law. There's nothing in that can imply transactional immunity. Additionally, the defendant's attorney's concerns at that time of that 2009 interview with Detective Long kind of show the opposite conclusion, that he is concerned with the defendant being charged with murdering Mr. Shakur, and that which leads me to believe that Mr. Davis did not have transactional immunity in the view of his attorney, and that's why his attorney advised Mr. Davis to keep it vague. And at that time, Mr. Davis did listen to his attorney, but his subsequent interviews and his self-proclaimed biography did not keep it vague. As the years passed, Mr. Davis revealed additional information on his own volition, and presumably for his own pecuniary interests that connected him to this, the alleged death, or the death of Mr. Shakur, allegedly at Mr. Davis's hands. And I do find the state is entitled to use that information freely given by defendant with no prompting by governmental authority and released to the public in its prosecution. So I'm going to deny the motion on that grounds. Overall, the motion to dismiss is denied, and the state is prepared the order consistent with this ruling and with its opposition.
Thank you, we will.
All right, regarding trial readiness, where are we at with that, Mr.
Can we approach you?
Of course, yes.
Give me 1 second to pull up something.
Little loose.
All right, it's too much static right there, man. We gonna get up out of here, man. But yeah, man, we definitely finna get up on this Keefe D trial, man. It's kind of imperative that y'all understand what type of time comes with the crimes that everybody glorify on the internet. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how just growing down. A nigga getting older now, homie, and to see that where we come from, we only respect violence. That's the only way. And then we put it in retrospect, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that nigga a killer, but he a good nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, open the door, come fuck with him. He a real nigga because he killed a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about that shit, don't no millionaire business, no $1 million company want to do business with no killer. Cause all it takes for you to hurt that nigga feelings and tell him, nah, man, you know what? Your business is no longer wanted over here. You know what I'm saying? And a nigga jump out, nigga, and knock your noodles on that concrete. You see what I'm saying? Because you told him, oh, you trying to take away from my family. Like, nah, man, a lot of niggas is emotional killers out here. You see what I'm saying? A lot of this shit that we talk about, in today's society, homie, when a nigga went and did a drive-by, we didn't say, I shot that nigga over there. We like, hey, bro, don't go down there. Nah, nigga, just don't worry about it. Don't go down there, bro. I'm telling you, nigga, your car, nigga, we from the same hood, cuz don't go down there. Nigga, don't go down there. Period. Nigga, fuck. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga knew off the backboard, like, yeah, all right, cool. And a nigga didn't have to say all that extra shit. And, now that nigga like, yeah, nigga, hockey sticks, nigga, I got skull drags, nigga, I'm tripping shit out here. Like, and then we say respect the shooter. But when the shooter shoot, that nigga go hide. Nigga go hide in a whole nother state. The nigga go run and all that shit. Nigga respect the shooter and then nigga stand up for yours. You know what I'm saying? Only in America is when a nigga try to take a nigga's soul or something. Send a nigga upstairs and it hit the news and a nigga running. Oh, I don't want to go to jail. I got a family. Then what you doing for? You know what I'm saying? So y'all stay tuned to this Keefe D case, man. I'm gonna start jumping on it more. I ain't really been on the internet because it's been a lot of goofy shit on the internet, and I ain't been feeling it. I miss y'all though. I definitely miss my peoples, but man, I ain't feeling none of this bunk ass shit. This shit bunk, this shit boosie. Niggas ain't really, niggas, everybody against everybody on this motherfucker. And the nigga, I don't fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, let's get to the content, let's get to the money on. And man, let's go up, man. On that note, man, thank everybody for pulling up. And I'm gonna see you on the next video. You know how we do it, nigga. Let's go.